So hey, what's up guys? It's B-Dog. Today I'm coming at you with a movie review of Blackkklansman.
God bless white America.
So this movie's directed by Spike Lee. I actually don't think I've seen any of his films. I was interested in Chirac, if you can see it. Nah, you probably can't. I haven't really seen any of his films. I've heard Malcolm X is fantastic, and I've heard of Do the Right Thing. As of recently, I think he's done a lot of documentaries. This movie's starring John David Washington, son of Denzel Washington, which he hasn't done a lot either. Malcolm X is like kind of a extra, more or less. And then he was in Ballers with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's still in it, I think. I didn't really look too far into it. I just know he was in the show. And then he produced The Book of Eli. He helped produce it. So he's the main character of this movie. His character's name is Ron Stallworth. Adam Driver's also in this movie, otherwise known as Kylo Ren. The last major character is Laura Harrer, aside from the antagonist, but I don't really know who those guys are. So, Laura Harrer was Liz in Spider-Man Homecoming, that's why I'm bringing her up. And she was a significant part of this movie. She was Ron Stallworth's love interest. Okay, so the plot. John David Washington's character Ron applies for the Colorado Springs Police Department. He gets in, he's the first black man to ever be in it, and then he's a patrol officer, but then he gets into intelligence, and he starts working with Adam Driver because he seeks out an ad in a newspaper for a KKK member, and over the phone he pretends to be a white man, and then Adam Driver has to come in and be the actual face for him. Okay, let's go into this movie. I'm going to start off with the cons. Really the only con was that this movie was just a little bit too long. It didn't need to have everything that it had in it. It just, at some point, it felt like the movie was over and it kept going. The movie was barely over 2 hours, but still, the plot seemed to drag a little bit after a certain point, and they should have just cut it off right at that point. But that's it for the cons. Pros. This movie did a good job of making the characters very human, and it was funny too, because the way these characters are set up, they kind of bumble around a lot. They didn't necessarily always have their stuff together, and they actually made a lot of mistakes, but they were still able to figure stuff out and work through it and still accomplish what they wanted to. This movie was definitely a comedy. It was a serious drama at points, but I think it blended those elements really well. It let the drama moments sit by themselves and really develop that emotion, and then it would cut to comedy later, but it wouldn't override the seriousness. It wouldn't trample over the top of it. John David Washington gave a great performance. He really drove the movie. It was his job to, but he really made it work, and he really had this character down. I really believed in the character. It worked really well. Adam Driver also bounced off him really well because it's Adam Driver's character. You figure it out within like 20-25 minutes. He's Jewish, and so he also has that persecution against him, and it creates more of a connection between them, even though they handle it differently. John David Washington is a little bit more outspoken about it, and Adam Driver is a little bit more laid back about it, but not laid back, but more concealed, I would say. And it created a nice, I guess, juxtapose would probably be the right word, juxtaposition. And then John David Washington's love interest, she was kind of pulling him one way, because he was in a they weren't necessarily racist, but they're definitely more traditional, and there were some people in the police department that were legit racists. And that's the thing, is he had that element. Patricia, she was actually really not into the police. She didn't like them. She called them pigs. And so it created that balance. Like, he had to find a balance in between. And that was such a great part of the story. The cinematography was also good in this movie, and I liked the soundtrack. All around, this movie was really well done. I can really appreciate what Spike Lee was going for in the story that he was trying to tell. So I'm going to go into my grade. Here we go. So I'm going to give this movie an A-. Well, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Please like, comment what you thought of this video, comment what you thought of the movie, talk to me, and subscribe. So that's it. See you guys later. B-Dog out.